Who does she think she is?
Welcome to IBe Arts. The I says E, the E says A, IBe. We created 50 of these books at the Women's Studio Workshop. I wrote this book knowing that it was a painful story, but I also felt that it was a story that needed to be told because it was a story about motherhood and the love of mothers. But we didn't just create 50 of these bodies, we created 100 of those bodies. And so I brought these bodies back, and here are 20 more of the bodies. I envisioned this while I was at the Studio Workshop. I said, you know, in my thinking about Black women and what we have experienced in this country in terms of helping to birth a population of people who help build a nation, I wanted to explore what does it mean to be a Black American woman. These two boats that I created, this wood came off of my new studio, which is going to be in Hopewell, and that building was built in 1830. So I took the wood from that, and I said, I want to include that in these two pieces of sculpture. While I've been here, I worked on 5 books. I'm going to share another one of those books with you.
So this is my portfolio for this project. I cut all of these wooden bodies out of ebony. So I did a piece of lintel cut, and then I dyed it with walnut dye. And so I'm asking the questions, what can she achieve? Because this is her story. This is walnut dye, so I boiled walnuts and made ink. And my question is,
who does she make herself out to be? Who does she believe she is? What laws protect her liberty? What monuments represent her? And how do you protect her? And finally, who does she think she is? These are common questions most Black American women are asked. Who do you think you are? What do you think you can achieve? What are you doing? And so in this process, I wanted to really work with those questions. In some ways, this is the dark part of the story. We weren't able to benefit from our own labor and use our resources to support our families and give them better lives. But every night, when I was in New York, I had a candle and I would light it right by my mother's picture. And one night, I woke up and I saw the color blue. And I knew that I could move away from this dark, muddy story to a higher story, a story about survival. Those 3 panels I thought about, and I looked at a lot of different pieces of artwork, and I thought to myself, as Black women, one of our biggest tools for survival is each other. So I'm proud to be a Black woman, and I'm proud to tell the story. This is also all handmade paper. When I went back to the Studio Workshop, I introduced this book to a publisher there and got a publisher, and now we're going to, in June, publish this. We're going to produce an edition of 250 books, which I'm really excited about. It's called Della Posey, and it's by IBe Crawley. Della Posey's handicapped mother, Alice Posey, an enslaved seamstress at Mount Vernon, has died. Her father, Hercules Posey, the chief cook at Mount Vernon, as well as the presidential residencies in New York City and Philadelphia, has absconded. Della Posey's life is defined by a simple question: how can she be free? Her father, Hercules Posey, was given the privilege of earning hundreds of dollars a year selling food from the presidential kitchen, which allowed him to roam freely in the state of Pennsylvania. After returning to Virginia, he walked away from George Washington's 65th birthday celebration at Mount Vernon, a fugitive. Finally, by the provisions of Washington's will, Hercules Posey was legally emancipated in 1801, no longer a fugitive, but a free man. Della Posey and her brothers, Richmond and IBe, desired to live free. They could attempt to escape by walking away from the plantation's kitchen and hard outdoor labor, or they could remain together in bondage. There is one other option: join the freedom revolution. Della Posey. In 1798, she writes to her father, "Father Hercules, the ferryman delivered word of your safe arrival in New York. Master Washington is fit to be tied. But the kitchen talk of your bravery. They think you walk free in Philadelphia. I was questioned many times as to your whereabouts. I answered truthfully. My father Hercules is in freedom land. One day I shall walk out the front door and never return. Without you and mother, how can Mount Vernon be whole? Without you and mother, Brother IBe and Richmond is all I have to clean. But they are determined to join the Virginia uprising. Yours, Della Posey." 1799. Only Judge's name is whispered in the kitchen and the quarters. It is said that she put Master Washington's national constitution to shame. Does she walk free, work for herself, and have free children? Has she a husband that cannot be sold away? I so want to make decisions for myself. Is our cause in vain? We work hard and pull together and wait, hoping that you will send for us. How I wish that we could be with you. I fear being sold, and I fear staying. Brother Richmond has not recovered from Philadelphia. Master Washington calls him lazy, self-willed. He is made an example of. He still denies ever having taken Master Wilkes' saddlebags. Yours, Della Posey. 1801. Father Hercules. Gaines associates reached us. Richmond and IBe more determined than ever. I am a little woman now, 14 years. A man like Gaines warmed my heart. Should I make a baby? Let him be like Gaines, free in life and in death. Our days are long and our nights are short. I long for rest. When you both were sent back to Mount Vernon, Brother Richmond was put to shame even more when you left without him. Yours, Della Posey. 1801. Did you receive word of Master Washington's passing? He freed Billy Lee and you in his will, but not us. Too late for Billy Lee, as his wife and baby were ghosts on a vessel upon the Potomac long before he returned. And he has squandered his freedom in the rum bottle Master Washington so generously provides. Brother Richmond and IBe never did reach Gabe. They grieved Gabe's death deeply. Field work is their reward. It is their escape. Domestic work is my imprisonment. Della Posey. 1803. Father Hercules. Brother IBe asked me to send word. Mrs. Washington is dead. We are very glad to be free of her. Good riddance. My children and me are being sent to Mill, Florida in York County. Mother's people are still there, still in bondage, seamstresses and spinners. Our union is our only defense. We manage to stay together. Yours, Della Posey. 1810. Father Hercules. Brother IBe has not lost hope of liberation. One day, he surely will fight in the freedom revolution. He is but 26 years and talks only of freedom. Even if he has to wait until his dying day, he is determined to fight for his liberty. I only regret the large sums of money you wasted on status, the gold-headed cane, and fancy pocket watch. Could it not have paid for their passage to freedom land? Word has it that Jimmy Hemmings paid for his liberation, then took his life. Should your sons and grandsons follow in their mother's status of enslavement until their dying day? As proud as I am that you are free, I
I'm ashamed that we were enslaved, longing for rest, Della Posey. In 1812, she receives a letter. Della Posey, your father, Hercules Posey, a free resident of New York City for 15 years, died May 15, 1812. His body was buried at the Second African Burial Ground in Lower Manhattan, the African Society. So each of these events happened. Gabriel's Revolution in 1800 did happen here in Richmond, Virginia. She was actually Hercules Posey's child. Hercules Posey was actually freed by George Washington. She is listed in George Washington's list of enslaved people at Mill Creek Quarter. So I'm able to piece together her story based upon these historical documents. But in the form that I put it in, the letter, I wrote the letter. ECU purchased a copy. There's a copy in there in the moment. There are museums across the country and private collections who are collecting this book. And one would say, why would they purchase this book? One is handmade paper. Two is screen printing. It's letterpress, and it's clay. And they use it in teaching experiences with their students, because students will be using this as a learning tool about how to put story together, how to tell a story, and how to include a variety of mediums. This is my show. This is the work that I've done. I'm working in paper, bookmaking, storytelling, sculpture, clay, marble, and any medium they will allow me to do in any space. I'm looking for my next residency after this publication. And I'm really excited about the paper because I've been working in stone for a long time. And you know, it's real hard to sell it because most people, it's an old medium, so not many people do it. It's heavy, it's hard to move, it's expensive, but I love being able to do form. Come in. Welcome to IBe Arts. This is my studio. I want to share some art with you today. Her name is Cherry Nation. For this particular one, the hair, I wanted braids. And when I look at the Greek sculptures and the Italian sculptures, they oftentimes would do hair that had more of a European wave to it. And since that's a wave that's not really natural to me, I don't feel inclined to master it. But braids are very common, and so I wanted her to have those braids that my little girls, that my schools oftentimes want their hair to look like. And I think the hair can be beautiful. So here's a complete sculpture, one of my finished products that I love. And I actually think she could be worked on some more. She could be cleaned up, but I don't want her to be smaller. And she's fine just the way she is. Thank you for visiting me. This was very nice. My books have really kind of helped me to be able to buy this institute. And because of that, I said I need to do something that I can sell at a rate that people can participate in the development of the institute and receive something that is a product of the institute. That particular book there was at IBe Arts. This is the copper etching.
Oh, yeah, love copper etching. Yeah.
So he did this. And I produced these in New York. I had them printed in New York.
Wow.
From the copper plate. The copper plate is mine.
Mm-hmm, that's beautiful.
But that's his work. And
I need that on a stamp.
So, you know, they were supposed to issue some currency, a $20 bill,
So
but they
this
never
is
did.
ours. We are issuing our own. And people can hang it on their wall.
Oh, wow.
So I printed 56 of these.
Okay.
And so I'm going to sell them today.
All right.
For $2.50. IBe. I says E, E says A, IBe.